What's up, guys? Today I'm going to go over the week I've had. As you can tell, it's not been very good. Actually, I'm going to go over the past 2 weeks real quick, and then I'm going to show you the trade I took today, kind of why I took it, where I went wrong, and yeah. So this is the first trade I took on this is my first funded account that I've ever had that's actually been passed. I've failed about 3 starting in July. Uh, so took this trade, took 2 of these trades actually. Lost 33 bucks and lost $262. Uh, don't really remember what that trade was. I do know that I started managing my risk a little better. Started doing 3 to 1. I think this was 2 to 1. I can't really remember. But yeah, I started doing 3 to 1 risk. Took 4 trades this day, which was way too many. Try to, while I'm starting out, I'm trying to take as little trades as possible, but and then here lost 33.29. Still managed my risk pretty good that day. Here I actually exited this trade early because we started consolidating and I knew it was about to drop, and it did. So kind of don't really count that as a win, but it's not a loss. Took this trade, which was awful risk. I don't really know why I took it. I did write down in my journal that I should have waited because one of my rules is to wait for price to tap into OTE just so that I can have solid risk. I don't really like taking crazy risk trades, especially right now while I'm still getting the hang of trading live, because it is a lot different than trading on a prop account, an actual prop account where I'm just back testing. It's much different, as most of you probably know. And then today, lost 78 bucks. I can go over that. Looking back, obviously hindsight's 2020. Trade was not smart. So we're gonna go over it. I started the day off bullish, or no, sorry, bearish. Looked like we were capitulating to the downside. Then I noticed we had a bullish SMT on the 1 hour. I'm not going to show you, but it's okay. Now I have to show you. Okay, got a bullish SMT on the 1 hour. And so I was like, yeah, but I'm still thinking bearish. And I really, if we would have started respecting this fair value gap, I would have probably kept that bias. So right before this candle started forming, I was on the 1 minute, which is probably wasn't the best idea for the way price was moving. So I actually entered right here. Right, if you go down to 30-second, pretty sure. No, okay, sorry. I did not enter off the 30-second. I made that mistake before. Just not really my thing. Okay, so we have this sweep, capitulates. If you can't tell, I like saying that word. You're gonna have to get over it. And then started dropping lower. And here, like I said, guys, if you're looking at this and shaking your head, I am too. So I started to assume that this fair value gap was going to get respected. I know this. I didn't take this on the 30-minute, but it's a lot cleaner on the 30-second. But it's a lot cleaner on the 30-second. Was in OTE, and I think like right as soon as I see this down candle, I just enter. Like I'm going short, trying to catch these big ass moves. That's just not where I'm at. So 100% on me. Journaled it. Gonna avoid doing some shit like that again. But you know, that's just trading. You just learn from doing dumb shit. So what I should have done, and what I noticed as soon as I got stopped out, I was like, all right, so we have our original consolidation. Sweep out these stops right here. Then, you know, we'd go to the downside, sweep these out. This is the move I should have waited for. But like I said, you know, my bias was bearish. I'm not too sure if my bias actually cooked me there. It honestly might have though, but from here, so I had this order block that I thought was getting respected after this fair value gap had been hit, and we were already moving to the downside. So like yesterday, I did the opposite of this, and took a trade that was, you know, on the way down. Thought I was going to retrace. It's pretty much my greed of trying to get these big giant moves that, you know, I think will get me out of the negatives. Coming to learn real quick that that is not how this is going to go. I'm just going to have to stay with my plan, stay with my model. I didn't really break any rules today. I was just kind of, like I said, caught off sides. So yeah, that's what I would change. Pretty much just a patience thing. And that's what you really got to have in trading. You really got to dig deep into, do some introspective work on realizing what you're doing wrong so that you can fix it, because a lot of people, I've noticed, and I've done this before on, you know, when I've blown funded evals, I've noticed you'll just sit there and be like, oh, it was an A+ setup, price just wasn't going my way. Well, at some point, I feel like you're gonna have to realize that's not true, and you're gonna have to find out what you're doing wrong. And it's kind of whole plan right now is just to kind of work out the kinks and go through everything that I've been doing wrong. So yeah, like I said, it started off with a risk. I don't like to risk a lot, especially right now where I'm at. You know, once I start progressing a little bit more, I'll probably risk a little bit more, but it's just not where I plan to go with that as of right now. So yeah, setup was, you know, not that, it wasn't my worst. I don't think this is my worst loss I've ever taken. I think this is also a good lesson to learn now, because I'm starting to get used to get it okay with losing, but I'm not gonna get like content with losing, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to just be like, oh, a loss is a loss, whatever. I did everything right. Like now, something went wrong. Not all the time. Sometimes I could try to, you know, look. If I look deep enough into something, I'm gonna find something wrong with it, and that's what I'm gonna journal. Now, if I just follow every rule, and there was really no way for me to predict where price was gonna go, that's on me. But then again, if I'm taking a trade in an unpredictable spot where it's not obvious to me, maybe I shouldn't be taking a trade then, right? And I've had days like that. As you can see, I don't trade every day, um, but it's Friday. I've been, you know, I've been doing a lot of studying. I've been actually learning this skill set for about a year. Never really strategy hopped. That's not something I've really ever had a problem with. It was really just concepts that were pretty hard to grasp for me. Other than that, I stuck with pretty much the same thing the whole time, and that's kind of what I'm doing now. I just started trying to actually live trade or go into, you know, buying evals about a couple months ago. It's November now, started in July. So, and then just passed my funded eval 2 weeks ago, I think. So yeah. So that was a trade I took today, guys. Hopefully I can make some more videos. Hopefully I can post some wins, and actually, you know, live stream more of my trades. Or not live stream. Uh, video some of my trades. Maybe start live streaming at some point. I'm not gonna start live streaming anytime soon though, because I don't have a webcam, and I'm not really all that tech savvy with that kind of stuff. I actually just bought this computer to trade on. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy the video. leave a comment. You know, if you notice anything that, you know, you could critique or, you know, give me some info on. You know, any criticism is welcome. So yeah, that is it for today, guys. That was the past 2 weeks recap. Hopefully I can make another recap. Probably do every 2 weeks, maybe a week, just depending on time and everything. But yeah, guys, have a good one, and God bless.